Niche day, who likes niche day? I love niche day. This is one day of the week where I can talk about anything that is very niche or indie related or just anything that I generally really love. And I know this is supposed to be review week, but we're taking a break for niche day and review week will come back tomorrow. So for this niche day, we have a special guest. That person's name is Peter from the channel Fragrance View. Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. Today we have a collaboration with Fragrance View, Peter from Fragrance View. Today we're going to be sharing our top 5 favorite notes and one fragrance that goes with that notes, and my first one is vanilla. If you guys know me in any capacity, you guys know vanilla is my #1 all-time top favorite notes ever because it's in pretty much every gourmand fragrances in the world, and I love gourmand fragrances. Vanilla just smells very delicious. It's also a very versatile note that can be used in pretty much anything. It's used a lot in female perfume, it's used a lot in men's winter, it's used a lot in men's fall and winter fragrances, and it's used a lot in generally a lot of niche and a lot of gourmand type or sweet type fragrances in general. It has a lot of different usage and it always smells so beautiful. Sometimes it can be dusty sweet or it can be rich sweet or very edible sweet. It's just an overall beautiful note. And one of the fragrances that has vanilla that I love the most, this one is from Hermenegildo Segna. This one is Bourbon Vanilla. This one, I have no clue if it's discontinued anymore, but I just love it so much. The bourbon in here is so nice. It's a very nice thick bourbon with nice thick vanilla at the same time. There's a lot of little bit of a resonance and salty-ish nuances in this fragrance, which makes it just amazing. It's incredible, it's unique. I've never smelled anything remotely close to this one, and that's why this is one of my favorite. If you love vanilla, you're gonna have to find this, man. If it's discontinued, I'm sorry, you're gonna have to go and find it because it does just smell so darn amazing.
I'm going to give you 5 of my favorite fragrance notes in perfumery with some recommendations of really good examples containing those particular materials. And we're going to start off with oud. Oud is really, I think, overused, overplayed in Western perfumery in recent years. Everything has got oud in the title and it's really distorted as to what oud actually is. Most of these are synthetic ouds or very kind of cheaply done that don't really give the impression of what actual oud is. Oud is a multifaceted, hugely complex, beautiful material that varies hugely in the scent profile depending on how old it is, which region of the world it's from, the conditions the tree was growing in, the species of tree in particular. All these, and the method of distillation. It's just crazy how many different profiles there are. But oud I've really fallen in love with as a material in perfumery. I think it's stunning, and when used correctly and used well, it can be really stunning. A good example of a nice oud top note that I really appreciate is from the Australian brand Forte Manley. They have a fragrance called Bojnikov. It used to be called Bojnikov's Purple Hat. In this one contains a natural oud that you can smell in the kind of the top notes, and it's a beautiful kind of rich woodiness. It's a little bit of lavender in there. Lavender is also a note that I really like, and kind of combined with a woody chocolatey accord. There's like a Belgian chocolate accord with different woods, vetiver and different cedars and natural oud. And this is a really nice example of how oud can be used really well in a fragrance. There's a few fragrances I can think of which utilize oud in a really good way, but this is one of my favorites that I wear a lot.
My next notes is actually a group of notes. I like white florals. I like jasmine, magnolia, gardenia, tuberose. Tuberose a little bit less than the others, but I still just genuinely really love white florals. To me, it reminds me of Thailand. I smell a lot of white florals while growing up. And every time I smell a jasmine, I just think, oh my God, it smells like home to me. It has a lot of nostalgic memories that I really associated with, and it's just beautiful. Overall, a very beautiful group of notes. And my favorite from the white floral fragrances that I've ever smelled is Melody de l'Amour by Dusita. Actually a Thai house as well. She's based in Paris, but she's Thai. And this is a very gorgeous smelling white floral. If you've not smelled this one yet, you're just so missing out. You really are. It's just beautiful. Like a bouquet of white floral. It's amazing. It smells extremely gorgeous. Every time I smell it now, I'm just mesmerized. I really am just mesmerized. It's so good, so delicious, so decadent, so regal. It's such a beautiful perfume. I would love someone to wear this at my wedding. I would love my fiance to wear this at my wedding. I would love my mom and my grandma to wear this because they would just smell beautiful, just like how they are. They're beautiful women and they need to smell beautiful. And this one just smells like a beautiful, beautiful woman. And love this one so much. If you love white floral fragrances, this one is definitely number one thing you should try.
One more fragrance in this list does contain oud, but I've selected it for a different material, but I will mention that later. My second choice of materials is leather. It's not really, well, it's not a natural kind of material unless you use something like castoreum. Usually leather is a synthetic accord. But leather in perfumery is a note that I really quite like a lot. In fact, my favourite fragrance is all about leather. It's Tuscan Leather by Tom Ford. Obviously, a very easy kind of recommendation to check out if you like leather. There's tons of leather fragrances though, but this is my personal favourite. Obviously combined with kind of a raspberry-like sweetness and saffron spice. Beautiful kind of soft brown suede leather. But leather in perfume, I absolutely love. And like I say, tons of really good choices for leather fragrances, including designer. The designer world has loads of niche fragrances. Ferrari do a few that are quite good. Davidoff does one as well, leather blend, and that's very good. So lots of great choices for leather, and it's one of my favorite notes in perfume.
Next is tonka bean. And tonka bean because, again, I love gourmand fragrance, and tonka bean is one of those notes that is a hallmark of almost every gourmand fragrances out there, especially all the mainstream ones, and a lot of mainstream men fragrances and a lot of mainstream female fragrances have tonka bean as well. It's just a very, very wonderful note that smells a little bit like a chocolatey type of note, but it has this distinct powderiness to it that adds onto a chocolate that makes it smell tonka bean. That makes it different from a regular chocolate note is what I'm trying to say. And my most favorite tonka bean fragrance is Fève Delicious. Fève Delicious is a masterpiece. They reformulated it. I've not smelled the reformulated version, but this one is the old masterpiece gem version. Love this one so much. It smells extremely gorgeous. I'm not gonna spray it right now, although I want to, because it is very strong and it's summertime. I don't wanna die. But it does smell extremely, extremely good. If you love tonka bean in any way, you need to try Fève Delicious. If you've not tried it, I have no clue where you've been. You are not a tonka bean lover. Yes, I'm taking away your title. If you say you're a tonka bean lover and you haven't smelled Fève Delicious yet, I'm taking away that title right now. Come back to me, let me know when you smelled it, and I'll give it back to you.
Third on my list of favorite notes would be sandalwood. Sandalwood can be thick and creamy and smooth and sensual and kind of regal almost. It's a beautiful scent. I find it completely kind of a gender neutral scent. It doesn't really lean either way. It can be worn by male or female, and it's just beautiful and simple and complex at the same time. There's a couple of good examples for sandalwood used in perfumery. Not all of them are natural. You can't beat a good Mysore sandalwood, but that's quite expensive. A good example for a sandalwood accord that's very singular, where it's not really kind of hiding between other notes, where it's like full-blown this is sandalwood, is by Kilian Sacred Wood. By Kilian Sacred Wood really is all about sandalwood and nothing else. It's a sandalwood accord, and that's what you get. So if you like sandalwood, and you just want to smell that rich kind of creamy woodiness and nothing else kind of interfering with it, Sacred Wood is probably, in my opinion, your best bet. Diptyque do one as well. I prefer Sacred Wood over the Diptyque sandalwood fragrance, to be honest, but they're both worth checking out if you want a very singular sandalwood fragrance. But sandalwood, I absolutely love it.
Next we have cardamom, and cardamom, very mainstream note. Again, you'll find it a lot in seductive fragrances such as La Nuit de l'Homme, Siège Privé, the one by Dolce & Gabbana, just to name the three biggest ones, alright? So, cardamom, such a sexy, cooling, spicy note, very alluring, very capturing. It hits your nose in such a unique way because spices are generally warm, rich and warm, which is not the best when it comes to getting compliments, but cardamom, on the other hand, is a cooling spice. It smells very fresh, which makes it extremely good, but it has that spicy, interesting quality in it as well, which makes it one of the most legendary notes ever put in a fragrance. And my favorite from the niche side, because this is niche day, this one is Latent Exclusive. This one is cardamom coffee. So good, man. Cardamom coffee backbone. Man, is that gorgeous. Man, is that really good. I like this one much more than the original because this one is much richer, much darker, has a lot more depth to it. The other one smells a lot more designery, which is fine. It smells extremely good. But if you want a niche version of it, get Latent Exclusive. Smells extremely, extremely good. Again, much better than the original. And if you like the cardamom, you're gonna like both of them, actually, Latent and this one. So grab whichever one, but I recommend this one.
Next on the list is a floral. There's two particular florals that I really like, and the last fragrance in this list has the other favorite floral note that I like, but I really like Ylang Ylang. I'm not a huge fan of florals in general. I don't resonate with a whole lot of them, but rose and Ylang Ylang in particular are two that I really do like. A good example of Ylang Ylang used really well in perfume is by an all-natural brand. They're called Abel. This is an all-natural perfume brand based in Amsterdam, and this one is called Golden Neroli. Despite the name Neroli, it does have a neroli note, which is very smooth, very clean, but it's combined with Ylang Ylang, and it's quite pronounced. You can easily smell it. Ylang Ylang is kind of, I wouldn't say tropical, but it has an unusual kind of sweetness to it that's very, very smooth. It's like a smooth cloud-like sweetness that's just delicious and beautiful and really, really nice. And that's the best way I can describe it, but it's lovely. A good example is in Golden Neroli. Golden Neroli is based around an accord of neroli and Ylang Ylang, mixed with a matcha tea accord, which gives it kind of a slightly powdery green texture that's almost like velvet, and a beautiful kind of natural muskiness, but a lovely fragrance. It's absolutely gorgeous. There's a little bit of vanilla there to give a little bit of extra sweetness, but that Ylang Ylang note is so beautiful, so kind of creamy and ethereal and sweet that it's just delicious. I really like it. Ylang Ylang, one of my favorite florals, and Golden Neroli is an excellent example of it being used really well.
Lastly, we have the warm, sensual note of amber. Amber is such a very cozy note. It's a winter note. It's a fall and winter note for sure. And my favorite time of year to wear fragrances is fall and winter. And fall time, amber notes, wintertime amber notes are such sensual, unique, cuddle scent. Girls sit next to you and they're like, oh, you're just so good. I don't know why the fuck I did that. So yeah, amber, my favorite fragrance from the amber fragrance I've tried is Mauvisard's Art and Gold perfume. This one is so pretty. I'm actually gonna show you the box right here. I'm gonna bring it closer to you. It is such a pretty bottle overall, and equally as beautiful as a scent. It's warm, it's caramelly, it's like a niche version of 24 Gold. If 24 Gold is already considered niche, but it's like cheapy niche, this one is more high quality version of 24 Gold, packaged in a really nice way like this. I love having this box. I bought this, by the way. It's not a sponsorship for those of you who think it's a sponsor. I bought this because I just love how it looks and I love how it smells. So yeah, amber, sensual, gourmand, that fragrance is top notch. Go try it out. If you like amber in general, that one is extremely good. If you like sensual, seductive, comforting scent, it's that one.
My fifth choice for my favorite notes is kind of cheating because this fragrance in particular combines a few of my favorite notes in one fragrance, so I felt like I had to select this one. I'm gonna say ambergris, and ambergris is a really interesting note. Ambergris can have very different kind of facets to it depending on the grade and the age and where it's from in the world, which beach it's washed upon. And it can smell kind of slightly marine and fishy and salty and waxy. It can smell a little bit animalic and fecal. It can also smell very smooth and ethereal and slightly sweet. So it has different facets depending on the grades and location and age and the purity of it. But ambergris can be stunning in perfume. And a really good example of it is by Ensar Oud. In fact, I'm going to give a couple of examples. And they both use natural, real ambergris. I had to choose this one because of the amount of ambergris in it. It's EO number 1 by Ensar Oud. This is the pure parfum version, where the whole perfume is made within ambergris tincture. So this is full-on ambergris with, you know, the materials added into the tincture rather than just adding a little bit of ambergris tincture to the blend. So fantastic example of ambergris, natural ambergris in perfumery. This one also contains one of my other favorite notes, which is rose. Rose is another my favorite floral that's beautiful, and this is a stunning example of that. You have a beautiful rose note mixed up with this ethereal, musty, salty, sweet ambergris, and also combined with different ouds. So it's like a harmony of all my favorite notes. And there's also the way that the oud smells gives the impression of leather a little bit. So leather obviously being another one of my favorite notes. So this is really a packed full of my favorite things. You've got this beautiful ethereal ambergris, natural oud, beautiful rose. Yeah, fantastic. And a kind of a leathery accord with that, with the natural ouds that are combining. So EO number 1 by Ensar Oud is a really stunning example of use of ambergris and rose and oud in a perfume. The other example I can think of that's really interesting is Baikal Gris by Arise Ladore. And this one is a really kind of unusual interpretation or use of ambergris. The smell is actually quite complicated and interesting and quite different. And the Lake Baikal is like the deepest natural freshwater lake in the world, and that's the inspiration for this fragrance. It does have a deep, watery kind of lake, peaceful, like deep vibe to it, which the ambergris is kind of bringing out these tonalities from it. So if you smelled that fragrance from Arise Ladore, again, a really good example of how ambergris can be used in a fragrance, a natural ambergris, to create really interesting artistic fragrances. So Arise Ladore and Ensar Oud, king of ambergris so far in my experience, and oud obviously, because they both are well known for using natural ouds, being oud distillers. So those are my top 5 favorite notes in perfumes and fragrances that I can recommend to check out for good references on those particular notes. That's it. Thank you, Timmy, for having me on your channel. I appreciate it. It's been good fun, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Alright, that's it for today's niche day. Thank you so much for watching. I think me and Peter are gonna do top 5 worst notes on his channel, I think in the next week or so. So go subscribe to his channel, link below. Thank you so much, Pete, for joining me, and I'll see you guys all next time. Peace.